दर्पण दृश्यमान नगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्बोद्धूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि इति अपरोक्षज्ञानेन निखिलकर्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्तिः स्यात्। कर्माणि कतिविधानि सन्ति इति चेत् आगामी सञ्चितप्रारब्धभेदेन त्रिविधानि सन्ति। आगामि कर्म किम् ज्ञानोत्पत्त्यनन्तरम् ज्ञानिदेहकृतं पुण्यपापरूपं कर्म यदस्ति तद् आगामि इति अभिधीयते। सञ्चितं कर्म किम् अनन्तकोटिजन्मनां बीजभूतं सत् यत्कर्म जातं पूर्वार्जितं तिष्ठति तत्सञ्चितं ज्ञेयं प्रारब्धं कर्म किम् इति चेत् इदं शरीरम् उत्पाद्य इहलोके एवं सुखदुःखादिप्रदं यत्कर्म तत्प्रारब्धं भोगेन नष्टं भवति। प्रारब्धकर्मणां भोगात् एव क्षयः इति। So, even though it has been talked about agami karma first here in definition, but we'll discuss first sanchita karma. Sanchita means which is collected. Sanchita means sam plus chi dhatu. From that, this is a past passive participle, collected, accumulated, etc. And so, sanchitam karma means is a whole host of a karma that was gathered before, which was collected before, which was earned before in previous lives, and that remains in an unmanifest form, like a seed. Like a tree is unmanifest in a seed form, same way this also is an unmanifest form. All the karmas are in unmanifest form, which will fructify slowly in countless crores of janmas. So ananta koti janmanam. Ananta koti janmanam bija bhutam yat karma jatam. Purvarjitam. Earned before. Tishtati. Purvarjitam tishtati. It remains like that. It stands like that. It exists like that. Tishtati means here it exists. It remains in a sid form, in unmanifest form. And and that will fructify in various janmas. Definitely the janma itself is a part of Sanchita gets fructified, which was unmanifest. In terms of prarabdha, it has manifest. And so Sanchita karma is anadi. Well, it has been told here as anadi, without beginning. Means in one cycle of a creation, one cycle means what? Billions and billions of years. Because one cycle means Brahmaji is, 100 years. And therefore, I don't know why, but it has been calculated that the human life is 120 years. Based on, this is a calculation based on I think that the sunlight travels in a year. Depending upon that, there is some calculation which I am not much aware of. But they have calculated that human life is 120 years. Brahmaji's life is 100 years. But Brahmaji's life means what? So anyway, that's called kalpa. Brahmaji's ayu, the life of Brahmaji is called one kalpa. So I mean, in every kalpa, new Brahmaji comes. Brahmaji is a post basically. It's a post. And on that post, a jiva comes which has done exalted karma and upasana and everything. So it's a very, very tough position. Like a prime minister or a president post, it's a very tough to get that. Anyway, so in a given cycle of creation, there will be a Brahmaji that's a post on which a particular jiva comes. And then he will be there for that billions and billions of years. And then that particular given cycle of creation, even if you get once that human body, once only, but that's enough, which will produce the Sanchita, which will produce a karma. Basically, we will go to Sanchita, which will run for several janmas, and several janmas in a given cycle itself. My God. So this is means what kind of a karmas we are doing. It's something very amazing, and all kinds of karmas. Otherwise, why should we get a lower birth? The fact that such kind of a living beings are there in a creation itself proves people are doing that kind of a karmas in a human birth. So to be a frog or something, or to be a cockroach or all this, I mean, is amazing. All the kinds of karmas the jiva must be doing as a human being, understand? Other are all bhogyonis, but as a human being, in a one human life, or else Pujya Swamiji says, like a human birth, there may be some kind of a birth where there is a choice, like human being, because we have for a Brahmand, I mean, we have a very less knowledge of the universe. So in a universe, there may be a human being like living being, where there is a choice. Well, that's all. Choice of action is there, then it's enough, and will produce so many karma phalas, and that will go to Sanchita, remain unmanifest, and from that Sanchita, the lot will come, give a different kind of a janma, different varieties of the janmas. So we definitely gather, punyam and papam, etc. And in one cycle of creation, when one kalpa, well, even if we get one birth, we'll have a karma which is ananta, which can give many births. So, and like that, there are several kalpas, kalpa koti shatairapi, avashyameva bhoktavyam kritam karma shubha shubham. And kalpa koti shataihi. Kalpa and koti. Koti means crores. In your USA language, it will be in millions. Millions. Okay, you won't have that crore over. Crore, that word is not there. No problem. But anyway, so millions and millions. I mean, and so like that, there are several kalpas are there. And that is going on since a beginningless time. So this Sanchit karma is the cause of the countless births later, standing in our account and waiting for fructification. This is enough in Sanchita. And now prarabdha karma. Karma, that definition of prarabdha is given in two ways. One is prak arabdham prarabdham. A plus rab dhatu is there. A plus rab means to begin. From that we have a word arambha, means beginning. So, and from this a plus rab dhatu, if you make a past passive participle, it will be arabdha, means begun, B-E-G-U-N, begun. And prakarshena arabdha. Prakarshena means very well begun. Very well begun means what? What is begun? The karmas have begun to fructify. Yeah. So fructify in terms of giving the body, giving the birth, and then onwards giving you a pleasant, unpleasant situations throughout the life. And ultimately that it ends in a death. So prakarshena arabdham, which has very well begun to fructify. The karmas which has very well begun to fructify. From where? From sanchita. From sanchita, which is unmanifest, it has started to manifest, or it has started to fructify. It has started to give a pleasant, unpleasant situation to a particular jiva. So it's called the prarabdham. Other way of defining prarabdham is, the derivation is prak arabdham prak. It has already begun. That way also. It's the same thing. But some people, some acharya says prak arabdham, some acharya says prakarshena arabdham, etc. etc. So which are giving you the result right now. That's all it means. It's already begun. And how it has begun? It has given me a particular day, particular time, particular place. All your person is born. That's beginning. That's all. Even from the conception, because the body begins not once it comes out. Body has already begun before 9 months. So even starting from the cell, etc., and conception itself. So that itself is a prarabdha. There itself the prarabdha has begun. And so, and then particular parentage, particular environment where you are brought up, and then underwent some kind of an education in childhood, and now you are here. So all this, up to this, what we have experienced is our prarabdha. And you know very well, we have experienced both kind of situations in our life. So ultimately pleasant and unpleasant situations. Of course, pleasant and unpleasant situations give rise to sukha dukkham. Total we have to consider. Pleasant situation give pleasure. Well, punyam. Unpleasant situation give you dukkham, pain, papam. Pleasant situation does not give pleasure, but dukkham, then papam. Please understand this. So pleasant unpleasant situation is not enough. Pleasant situation is comfortable situation, a welcome situation, let's say, favorable situation. If favorable situation, but in your mind becomes unfavorable, well, it's papam. I have given you example, if you remember, that it's a beautiful atmosphere in the home, and you are getting a food also, you are sitting on a dining table, and your wife has made everything beautiful which you like. She has selected all the items which you like, and she has made everything, including some sweet dish also, and everything. So, and you are sitting on dining table, whole family is sitting and cracking a jokes and everything going on, and phone rings, and you pick up the phone, and on the other side, your employee in the factory, he's in a very, very he's speaking in a very, very, very what can we say, voice, which in almost a crying kind of a thing. Sir, please come immediately. Please come immediately. In our factory there is a fire. Enough. That's enough. You're outside, it's a favorable situation, but mind is unfavorable. So people used to ask me, Swamiji, the pleasant situation is a result of punyam, or favorable situation in the mind is a punyam? Favorable situation. Understand that. So outside favorable, unfavorable situation, of course it's a karma phala, definitely. But ultimately, experience of pleasure or pain is a result of punyam or papa. So we should put both the things. That's how I say pleasant, but sometimes it happens so that outside situation is not that much favorable, but somehow your mind is very pleasant. It may be possible. Then in that case also, well, because you are remembering something or at that moment you are experiencing your punyam. Anyway, so this is how we have to see. So generally prarabdha brings you pleasant and unpleasant situation because one will be affected. Outside the situation, if it is favorable, definitely it will affect your mind, it becomes favorable. Generally this is going to happen. And outside pleasant and unpleasant situation does not affect at all to you. That is also titiksha. You remember that. So that's another thing. And therefore, that's how Puja Swamiji says, well, you get a pleasant or unpleasant situation outside is your prarabdha. Because if you have that mental immunity, well, you need with this sukha dukkhe samay krutva labha labha jaya jaya, then if you have titiksha, you are not getting carried away in the pleasant situation or not getting affected in unpleasant situation. Then where is prarabdha? So then we will have to say, outside a situation, what you get as a pleasant or unpleasant situation, favorable or unfavorable situation, is a prarabdha in that jiva. It's a jiva, of course. He has not yet gained jnanam. He is in the sadhan chatushtaya stage. But he is having a titiksha. So he has developed that titiksha. And so that is how we have also discussed, sameness. Is a pragmatic approach also. Sameness towards a situation many people have. The people who have faced a lot of difficulties, they are not affected by, simple unfavorable situation. They say this comes and goes. I have seen lots, Swamiji. I am not affected. And really they are not affected. They don't boast. People are really don't affected even without karma yoga also. But karma yoga is of course a different thing where Ishvara is involved. And so point is ultimately we should, by all this analysis, our conclusion is a Swamiji's conclusion, Puja Swamiji's conclusion. Pleasant, unpleasant situation in your life is ultimately a result of prarabdha. Anyway, that prarabdha, of course, prakarshena aradhana, as I told you, so it is getting unfolded after the birth, every moment, every day in fact. In fact, you wake up because of prarabdha. And then your whole day is because of prarabdha. Next day will be different. Then the third day will be different. All the 7 days of a week are different. So because morning 7 o'clock itself, after getting up, we are happy. Well, you getting the tea, the way you get a cup of tea, I mean, sometimes she has added more sugar and you take generally less sugar. There itself your mood goes. And therefore, it begins there itself. And then in a food, you like a particular thing and it is not there. But that dish is there, but she has put more salt or more something. And then your mood goes. I mean, so much of combination. That's how yesterday I told you, Vishwado Mukham. Is Vishwado Mukham that karma has an eye on every side. Every side. It has to take into account the time, place and varieties of the objects and everything and give you a phalam as per that you will. And therefore, it's a very big network. Too big network for a person to think over. Gahana karmano gati. So Bhagavan says very beautifully, this karmana gati hi gahana. Anyway, so karma itself, Puja Swami says, karma itself cannot give you happiness or sorrow, but can give you pleasant and unpleasant situation. So we have analyzed that. So this is how we have to say that it is a prarabdha, and that gets exhausted only through experience. Anyway, now agami karma. So sanchit karma is like a fixed deposit. We have earned in several janmas, several human life basically. Several human lives in a given cycle, in a given kalpa, given cycle of creation, or in a many kalpas we have taken a human birth and collected. So all it is a fixed deposit, what we have earned. And not available for transaction, but a portion of that fixed deposit has now, matured, let's say. So that mature deposit which you will be utilizing now, that's called prarabdha. So it has brought about this body, and while it is getting unfolded, there can be new karma also. So in this life, we are, of course, prarabdha has started fructifying from the sanchita, from the unmanifest, what we have earned. From fixed deposit, something has matured, and now we are utilizing it. But at the same time, we are earning also. So we are debiting our account because spending something, but then earning also. There will be some credit also. So credit and debit. So this credit is called agami karma. Agami karma means definitely which you gather in this life. As a human being, that you have to add all the time. Whenever a discussion on karma comes, you should not think any other living being other than the human being. Where there is a choice, there is karma. That's all. Where there is a free will, there is a karma. Then what other living beings are also running around and doing and killing and prey and what not. They are doing everything. Yeah, but that is not, they are all programmed one. And so they have to sustain their life, and they are designed like that. So even though a lion kills a deer, it has not done a papam. We know very well. But if I kill a deer, well, there is a papam. Lion has no choice. Lion has no free will to kill the deer. It will kill, because it sustains on that. But I can live without. Therefore, I can sustain on vegetables, no problem. Or I can sustain myself on the fruits and other things. So I need not kill. Therefore, that kind of a free will is there, choice is there. Anyway, so one can do some benevolent action in this life, which is like investing and making a profit. So this, now whatever you mature this deposit, and because you have got this human birth, and you definitely feel that I should have a good deposits, then you do benevolent actions, which is like investing and making profit. And as with the money expenditure, and credit and debit are possible, so but still we have a will in this life, so which definitely will generate new karma. So the karma that is gathered in this life is agami. Agami, why? But Swamiji, what is the meaning of agami? Yeah, meaning of agami means which will fructify later. Which is fructified right now is prarabdha. Which is not fructified, sanchita. Which will fructify in future, agami. Literal meaning of agami is this, which will fructify later. That's all. Which comes later. Agami means a plus gacha dhatu, means a plus gam dhatu. The meaning means will come later. So here fructify later. That's how it is. So agami karma is understood as the karma that is gathered in this life, which will become a part of sanchita. Once this prarabdha is over, that will become a part of sanchita, and from that sanchita you will get a prarabdha again. And then if you get a human life, again you will generate new karma. So our whole sanchita is because of in a given human life we have done the karma. At that time it was agami only. When we did in the past, that was agami. But once the prarabdha is over, the human body falls, then whatever the karmas you have done in this life, actually it is agami, but now it has become a sanchita. This is how it is. So sanchita, prarabdha, agami. This is how it is. Sanchita unmanifest, unutilized. Prarabdha right now I am utilizing. I am undergoing experience and generating at the same time in this life, in human life. That becomes agami. Anyway, so these three types of karmas are there. Now we will have to see this threefold karma for a Jivan Mukta. That's very important, because the whole, of course, Vedanta is more interested in a mukti right now, but we have a claim of a Videha Mukti also. Videha Mukti means that future birth, etc. will not be there. We say that. Then definitely we will have to think how the whole, where all karmas goes. Anadi karmas, the sanchita is so big. Every time these Purvamimamsakas have one argument that without any kind of a jnanam prapti, without gaining knowledge, without opening the Upanishad, page of a Upanishad, their mukti is possible. We have one model, PowerPoint presentation. They have a PowerPoint presentation of a karma. by which they say you need not gain Brahma Jnana. Still you will not have a next birth. They say like that. That model has a lot of big holes in that. Big holes. Therefore, that Bhashyakara has shown in Taittiriya Upanishad. Well, if the time permits, I will discuss at the end. But right now, let's see this threefold karma for a Jivan Mukta. For a Jivan Mukta, this Agami karma will be a little different, because a Jivan Mukta is liberated, from the doership. So that being so, the doership is based on free will. And the doership is not there in any living being. So we have free will, we have doership. Of course, it is born of ignorance, but it is there. That being so, the Sanchita karma, of course, a Jivan Mukta is liberated from the doership, and so Sanchita karma is gone for this person, because Sanchita karma will be fructified for a person who is a doer and who has become enjoyer now. Of course, who is a doer, the same one is an enjoyer. Doer is one and the enjoyer is different, cannot be. That cannot be possible. I do something in this life, and the future, the jiva, future who will take birth, that bhokta experience is different. That cannot be possible, and therefore jiva has to be there. Therefore, body cannot do the action. Because body is not a doer, definitely not doer, because this body is gone. The karmas which are done by this body is false, and then I experience the result in the next janma. That body is different. Therefore, so bad actions are done by this body, and then the result, well, in terms of pain, etc., will be experienced by another body. How can it be? Therefore, body is not a karta. Definitely, body is not a karta. One who is a doer is an enjoyer. We have discovered that in the Bhagavad Gita class, who is a doer. But we started with, if you remember, we started with the body, because it looks that body is doing all kind of activity, and therefore body is a doer. Then we have found out that body cannot be doer. It is simple logic. Body cannot be the doer, and therefore, because body, even though it looks a lot of activity, but body falls, and lot of karmas which are unfructified, has to be accounted for in terms of experiencing karma phala, and therefore definitely this body cannot be the karta, because in a next life you will get a new body. Therefore, there is someone else who doesn't die, who survives the body, and who is a doer, and he will enjoy in a next life. And therefore, that jiva is basically, jiva means that ego, and that too basically a mind only, but the ego claims the mind as itself, and therefore the kartrutvam in the mind is basically, it goes to the ego, and therefore ego is that's ahankara, or a jiva is a karta. We have done that, so in the Bhagavad Gita class. Anyway, so the sanchit karma is gone for this person, and all that was standing in account of that jiva, is falsified, because sanchita was the earning was on the name, some holder was there, account holder was there, in whose account of all these things were there, whole karmas were there, but that account holder is gone now, on the wake of knowledge. The doer has gone, and therefore the sanchita karma is gone. All sanchita goes. But Swamiji, karma cannot go without giving karma phala. Yeah. Then how can the karma gets destroyed without karma phala? That gets merged into samashti karma. Samashti karma of jivas are there, so his karmas will be merged into samashti karma. It will not go. So it will not get, sanchita karma is destroyed means what? It merges into samashti. His body is going to merge into samashti. Gross body is going to merge into samashti, subtle body is going to merge into samashti, respective elements, etc. And his karmas also are going to samashti. Everything is going to samashti ultimately. Because vyashti, I am not vyashti that much, that he knows very well. And therefore nothing remains of vyashti. Everything will merge into samashti ultimately. Anyway, all the sanchit karma is gone. So anything gathered here up to this point, up to the point of knowing that Aham Brahmasmi, everything before that, till you know this, till you get the clarity that I am Brahman who is free from the Kartrutva, etc., then all this around before has gone. So Punya Papa are all gone, and no one to claim it, because he says I am Brahman. So he says I am not I am not one who has done action, etc. So whole account is finished. Okay, then will there be a new account for a Jivan Mukta or not? Now that's a point we have to discuss. This is a very big issue. So new result of karma cannot come to him, because the law of karma will give definitely a karma phala, but it will be look for an appropriate recipient, because now he is not a recipient. So around him, whatever are moving will be the victims of his karma, of the past karmas, etc. And the new karmas also. If this Jnani, the Jivan Mukta, has done some Punya Papa, well, then suppose like he is a teaching, or he is establishing some ashramas, etc. He is doing aim for seva, etc. Helping a lot of people. Then what will happen to his karmas? Well, then this Tattvabodha says one thing. Let me tell you very, very frankly. And in Brahma Sutra, the discussion is little bit different. I will tell you both the point of view, whichever you like, you accept it. So, Tattvabodha is going to claim that basically the people who serve him, such a Jnani person, because his prarabdha is there and therefore he is doing a lot of activity. Of course, he is not an account holder and he is doing a lot of good activity, then he is earning a lot of punya. Then he is punya, but he is not account holder, then where it will go? Then who will be the appropriate recipient? The appropriate recipient are his shishyas, who is serving him. So the people who serve him will become a basically a recipient of his punya karma. And those who censure him, definitely they will or criticize him, definitely will become a recipient of his papa karma. Papa karma is done by Jnani, yeah, is done. How it is done, I will talk to you later. Now this is one point of view. And then second point of view is basically that's not correct. Anybody's karma cannot be taken by anybody else. This is not like that. This is not our back. One here in your account, some money is there, you can transfer on somebody's name. That you can do. But in Chitragupta's account, that is not possible. Even if you call from here to Chitragupta that you please transfer so and so an amount of money to somebody, some other account holder, that will not be possible. That's not possible. In Brahma Sutra it is like this. Then why Mundaka Upanishad said tam atmagnyam hi bhuti kamaha archayet, tam atmagnyam archayet bhuti kamaha, one who is desirous of a bhuti, samruddhi, having some interest in material well-being, he should definitely archayet, he should worship this atmagnani, he should worship this atmagnani. He should serve this atmagnani if one is desirous of a material well-being. Why Mundaka Upanishad says that? Tell me. So then in Brahma Sutra it has been told that basically the person who is doing a service to this jnani, etc., well, that service itself is a very benevolent action. And that benevolent action definitely gives him punya. So his action, the punyam earned by this person doing a benevolent action towards that jnani, of course, serving, etc., will give him this benefit. Not that the jnani's punyam is shared by this person. That's a very big objection over there. Could you follow what I am saying? Yeah. So this is how it has been resolved there. But anyway, Tattvabodha claims at the end that the person who is serving him definitely gains his punya. Whatever way you can take it. Where will that papa goes if he has done some kind of a hinsa? But jnani can do himsa. We'll see that. So anyway, like he steps upon some insect, suppose, unwillingly also. It steps upon, it happens. Especially in monsoon in India, it happens. That's how the sannyasis were having the Chaturmasya. Chaturmasyam means the 4 months you should not go anywhere and stay at one place, because in that months of monsoon, generally lots of insects comes out. And those days sannyasis were paribrajakas. So, moving all around, and that too on foot. Definitely they will step upon a particular insect gets killed, and it has happened several times, and therefore himsa is done. And there is another one also he can get, and therefore he gets a papam, but then the other way also. If this sannyasi takes a food, this is Veda, huh? Don't blame me. This is all in the Veda. If he eats food at somebody's place who has earned money through papam, and he eats money, and he eats food, well, the food has been bought from that money which is earned through papam. Then so he is sharing the papam with that person, and definitely he earns papam. This is how it is. That's how in those days, they were, till today also. But there are two types of sannyasis. One is a sannyasi like us, who does not have any danda. Because Puja Swamiji, our father, our father or great grandfather, whatever you call, he does not have a danda, and so we also did not have a danda. He did not have, so we do not have. So this is one sampradaya. We call it as a Paramhamsa sampradaya, where they don't hold even this. And there are other sannyasis like our Shankaracharyas. They all are having a danda, dharma danda. They are Hamsa sannyasi, and they are supposed to do a puja, daily puja of even that danda also. That's a nitya karma for sannyasi. Nitya karma for sannyasi, doing a puja for danda, and then the puja of a Chandramaulishwara also, that linga also. So many things are there. So they are so busy. Our Shankaracharyas are very busy with the nitya karmas. We feel sannyasis do not have any karma. No, nitya karma, naimittik karmas also. Naimittik karmas also, they have lot of naimittik karmas. Anyway, what I am saying is there are two types of sannyasis are there. And that's this Hamsa sannyasi and Paramhamsa sannyasi. Anyway, so this papam will be earned by this by sannyasi also in this way. And so someone will get papam and someone will get punyam as per the Tattvabodha, because some people are criticizing this jnani, some people are praising the jnani and serving also. So, so the jnani basically he himself is free, and because of prarabdha karma he continues to have this body, but his agami karma, what he is doing in this life, punyam or papam, goes to these two types of people. That's what Tattvabodha says. So now we will have to see this, how his prarabdha continues. Sanchita has already gone, and he does not have agami on his own account, because the account holder is not there. Now regarding prarabdha, there is a big discussion. As per some of the people, because as the karta is dead, karma also is dead, and therefore prarabdha karma also should come to an end. Agami is not there, sanchita is burnt, and prarabdha of course also should not be there, and therefore his body should fall immediately. He should die immediately. So, well, we'll have to give some understanding to them, the people who raise this kind of a doubt. Ishvara's law is empirically real, and so even so his body etc. will not just go away with the knowledge of this reality, unlike the rope snake. As they give this example, as you see the rope, the snake goes away. Same way, as you see that you are Satyam, Atma is Satyam, other than that whatever is Mithya should immediately go away. Just as snake is Mithya, goes away, and same way the body etc. you are claiming now it is a Mithya, and I am the Atma which is Satyam, then body immediately should perish. That is what they say. Anyway, so the moment you see Satyam, the reality of the snake disappears. But when you, but we give another example. That's how I told you. Every place this rope snake will not work. So whenever it is required, we should take it. Afterwards, we should put it aside. And therefore, now we will have another example for Satya Mithya, and that is beautiful sunrise. So sunrise example is beautiful. So we bring that example. So basically, when you see the Satyam of a sunrise, that there is no sunrise at all, and the perception of the rising sun would continue. Why? What is somebody, one person told me, See, both example has a satyam and mithya. Rope, snake and sunrise. Both has this. But basically, in a rope snake example, rope is satyam, that is vyavaharik satyam. Clear? And the snake is a pratibhasikam. Everyone do not see. Everyone do not see snake. Somebody sees snake. Somebody sees a streak of water. Somebody sees a cable. That's my example I am giving you. A piece of cable was lying in a bridge in Ahmedabad. And I was going to the class on a vehicle. And literally, you believe me, it was almost a 4-foot piece of cable of the electric pole. And it was lying there. And like this. And literally I took it as a snake. Because generally cables are black. Cables are black. And I took it as a snake. I just stopped my vehicle. Then I realized with this little common sense. This is prarabdha. So, some person take it as a crack in the earth. One person takes it even, the rope was, some animal standing on the tar road passed on urine. And that, urine also, and then it also went like this. And being a tar road, it was looking very black. And one person took it as a snake. There are several examples, several ways. A single, people see, someone sees as a snake, someone sees something else, someone sees something else. So that shows it is pratibhasika, jiva srushti. And therefore, rope snake example, even though satyamithya example, but then the snake is basically, it's a creation of a jiva. And someone sees only rope also. He doesn't see snake at all. That's possible. And therefore, the snake can resolve immediately because it is a pratibhasik srushti. It's a jiva srushti. The one who was seeing earlier snake now sees as a rope. That's possible. But sunrise is not pratibhasik. Sunrise is for entire earth, all the people. It is a Ishvara Srushti. Even though it is Mithya, it is Ishvara Srushti. And therefore, through science, if you come to know what is the reality of the sunrise, after understanding that sunrise will continue. What is a Ishvara Srushti will continue. What is Jiva Srushti, what is created by a Jiva, by an individual we call Pratibhasikam, will die immediately. And what is Ishvara Srushti will not die even after you know it is Mithya. Please understand this difference, and therefore basically even our pot clay example is also like that. Yeah, please understand that. Everyone will call it as a pot. A name pot is given by the entire humanity. Therefore when I use the word pot, you also understand and someone else also understand. If of course he should have a knowledge of English, that's a different matter. But point is, the one who knows English, everyone will understand what is pot. Ishvara Srushti. And therefore, even if you understand that pot is mithya and clay is satyam, the pot is not going to vanish. Understand? Pot will remain. But as a mithya pot it will remain. That it has no independent reality. The essence of the pot is, the Atma of a pot, the truth of a pot is clay. That's how it should be. Or is the sunrise also. The truth of sunrise is that it doesn't rise. Basically. Anyway. So what belongs to Ishvara Srushti will remain. What belongs to Ishvara Srushti even after understanding. But Swamiji, pot name is given by the human being, it's a Jiva Srushti. what name we have given. But the creation as such, but that creation also is by human being, correct? But that will be seen as a part by all, as a vessel which is filled for water. It has some purpose. That form has a certain purpose for all, and therefore that continues for all the people. Like a dream, like seeing a snake, all this is also mithya, but that is pratibhasika. Understand that. This is the difference between a different example of a satya mithya. We have to be clear. And so don't apply the rope snake example for this body. Body is created by Ishvara, that is Maya. We have seen the creation, and therefore, so basically it's empirically true. The body is empirically true. We call it Ishvara Srushti. And so the pratiti or the experience will continue to be there. The sunrise experience continue to be there. That is the pratiti. So the same way body also will continue to be there, even though it is not real. So this is a difference between a Jiva Srushti, a rope snake, and Ishvara Srushti. You can call sunrise or you can call the body, etc. The rising sun is in Ishvara's creation, so it follows its laws, and that's how it has an empiricality. And the prarabdha karma also belongs to the order of reality. Of course, right? Karma phala data is given. So the prarabdha karma also is a part of the... Swamiji is Jiva's karma, correct? Jiva's karma. Jiva's karma, but who has given you the body? You have created your body, or Ishvara has created the body? No, Ishvara has created. That's all. The Srushti belongs to what? That's what my point is. Srushti belongs to what? Sunrise you have created or Ishvara has created? No, Ishvara has created. The sunrise you are seeing as a sunrise is due to some law. Yeah, and that law I have not created. That law is created by Ishvara or Ishvara. The law is Ishvara, whatever you say. That's not a problem. But that is how the sunrise will not go. Even though you understand that, well, there is no sunrise, but the pratiti, the experience of sunrise will continue. The mithya will continue. And therefore, same way the body, etc., given by karma phala data Ishvara, through the law of karma, right? The karma is done by me, that's all right. But then he has provided the body. Everything is provided. Everything is given. Pujya Swamiji's word. Everything is given. Body is given, the mind is given, senses are given, this is given, parentage given, external situations given. Given is this prarabdha. Given is this prarabdha, which is Ishvara Srushti, which will continue. So when a Jivan Mukta understands that I am Satchidananda, which goes away, what goes away is this ignorance, and ignorance born notions that doership, etc., enjoyership, and so I am not a doer, I am not an enjoyer, etc., he understands. But there is a doer with reference to an action done by the body. That doer means that badhita doer will be there, right? Badhita. It's a mithya, but I told you, but it continues, that the doership which is badhitam will continue, ego will continue. If you don't understand this, ego will continue, because the body is there. So reflection of the body, the I sense will continue. What can I do? If mind is there, I sense will be there. If mind is there, thought will be there. Okay, let's say understand that. If mind is there, thought will be there. Then thought will be there, then I thought will be also there, and this thought also will be there. Then I thought continues. If I thought continues, ego continues, then doership also continues. Because the doership is existing in that mind. And this ego claims it. I am a doer, ego. Even though I have understood now that I am a substratum, I am a Satchidananda and the Sakshi of ego, but then ego, that pratiti, experiencing the ego will continue. Experiencing the doership will continue. That's we call badhita. Badhita means negated through knowledge. It will not destroy. The I sense will definitely go away. It gets extinguished when the mind will not be there. That's our experience also in deep sleep state. When the mind resolves, the I sense also resolves. Same way, after death, of course, it is going to be not there. That's correct. But till then, it will continue. But then my body continues. Ishvara Srushti. Ishvara Srushti is there. And as per the law of karma, that prarabdha is there. Because of that, the bodies are there. And so long as the I sense also will be there, so long as the doership also will be there, which has become already mithya. Like the sunrise which has become mithya will continue. Yeah, he moves here only. I think a lawnmower. I think he is doing that job. Anyway, so body continues to exist, mind continues to exist, senses continues. The whole Sharira, the Karyakarana Sanghata, the body mind sense complex continues to exist, and therefore, and this complex is given to this Jiva, which has become now Mithya. So he exhausts his prarabdha. The Jiva which has become Mithya will exhaust his prarabdha through these bodies. And so these bodies will continue to appear, and so-called doership, so-called enjoyership, etc. will also be there. Like the sunrise will continue. And thank God it continues. Otherwise, we won't be there. Like any jnani who gains a jnanam, and after gaining the jnanam as Brahmaiva Ahasmi, Brahma eva aham, that much he says, and person prarabdha gets over. So there will not be guru there. There will not be shishya also there. And then there will not be moksha also. So thank God that Bhagavan has continued one karma for him, that is which belongs to Ishvara Srishti. And so this is a good thing. So our physical body is Ishvara Srishti. And so anyway, so Jivan Mukta does not disappear. His body does not die immediately. Physical body is Ishvara Srishti, and it behaves in the same manner it should behave as per the law of karma. See, somebody says, Swamiji, how can you say Ishvara Srishti? Ishvara Srishti is Ishvara Sankalpa, right? My Srishti is my Sankalpa. What is my Srishti? I have told you already. Dream creation is my Srishti. It's my Sankalpa, that's all. You don't really make the buildings. You don't make buildings by taking a ton loads of cement. You don't make. Your Sankalpa is your Srishti. Ishvara Sankalpa is Ishvara Srishti. That's how I told you, even our Prarabdha also is Ishvara Ichha. Ishvara Sankalpa only. Anyway, but how can you say that? See, even if you think that this body should behave in this manner, your Sankalpa is that, it doesn't go by that. It doesn't go by that. Yeah, I wish that I should never be an old person. I should never have a disease. I should never have this kind of a body. I should have that kind of a body, this kind of a body. This is how it is. Bhagavan says this is how it is, whether you accept it or not. This is a prasad. Take it as a prasada from me. You take it as a prasada from me. Don't resist. I mean, our sankalpa won't work. This is called Ishvara Sankalpa. My mind is Ishvara Sankalpa. My body is Ishvara Sankalpa. Everything is Ishvara Sankalpa. And therefore, if it is Ishvara Sankalpa, well, that is Ishvara Srishti. Ishvara Sankalpa is Ishvara Srishti. Yeah. Why? Satya Sankalpa. Ishvara is a Satya Sankalpa. Whatever Sankalpa he does, that turns to be true. Why? Why it is so? Because he is omniscient and omnipotent. One who is omniscient will be omnipotent. One who is Sarvagnya will definitely be omnipotent, Sarvashaktiman, and therefore he doesn't need any material to create. His Sankalpa itself is a Srishti. Like, sir, in your dream, your Sankalpa is your Srishti. You don't bring any material from air. No effort at all. And you think ocean, and the ocean is right there in your dream. Same way, the whole creation is Ishvara Sankalpa. And so it goes by Ishvara's law. And therefore, definitely, the body, etc., is a part of Ishvara Srishti. Well, it will go in its own course. Right? So, it is subject to old age, disease, death, everything. It's a Sharira that has certain longevity, and with its span, certain experiences also, we will have to experience that. So, until you exhaust the fructifying karmas, as a jiva, as a badhita jiva also, it will continue. And therefore, Jnani also, you might have seen, he also get pleasant situations and unpleasant situations. He get a very serious illness also. We see that all kind of things. So that shows prarabdha is there. And he undergoes pain also, some kind of a sukha dukkha also. That is there. And so prarabdha continues. So sometimes before that, exhaustion of karma, the body can disappear. That is a case of a suicide. Well, some people, because the choice is there and you are undergoing a pain, your prarabdha is such as a person commits suicide. Then somebody asked that, Swamiji, then suppose he had a very, very bad prarabdha and he can commit suicide and put an end to that bad prarabdha. But you will have to undergo that because it's your earning. You will have to. They say one person who commits suicide had to face lot of problems in the next life. That's what Shastra says. And therefore we will have to believe that whatever is in our account, well, we will have to undergo. So I am talking about a Jnani, of course, but definitely Jnani will not commit suicide again. There is no question of Jnani committing a suicide. But a homicide or a suicide, etc., well, the prarabdha comes to an end abruptly. He has to experience that balance in the next life. And definitely, and that life has its own prarabdha, right? New life has its own prarabdha, plus this. And therefore, sometimes people suffer a lot. Sometimes people suffer a lot. That one of the reason could be this. One of the reason could be this. We cannot say that everyone who suffers will have committed suicide in the prarabdha. We should not say that. But this is how we say. Anyway, so when exhaustion of karma takes place, the body will naturally fall. That's a law. And Pujya Swamiji gives a beautiful example of arrow, which is wonderful. So our body is an arrow. And what is bow? Bow is nothing but the law of karma. That's a bow. And one who wields that bow is a Ishvara, karma phala data. And so once he releases an arrow with a law of karma, once he releases an arrow, means a body, from the conception itself, then it has its own momentum. And definitely one cannot, unless it hits a target or it doesn't hit a target, then it has its own momentum and it will fall once the momentum will be over. So this is also arrow. It has gained a momentum from the conception and it has its own momentum, and when when that momentum will be over, this body will definitely fall. So the karma phala data is basically the one who wields the bow. So law is a bow, and the one who wields the law is this Bhagavan. He is archer. And the jiva with a sharira is arrow. So it is released once it is born in a given form from conception onwards. Then this will keep going as long as the moment of karma lasts, and which he has set through that releasing. So whether it is meant for 100 years or 50 years, whatever, each one is set to last. So the Jnani's Sharira also will continue like that. And as I told you, so in the process of this traveling, of course, everyone's arrow is released like that. Everyone's body is released. But if one understood that I am Brahman, etc., I do not disappear because I keep going. That arrow is keep going, and knowing you are Brahman does not make the physical body disappear. Only the notion I am the doer, etc., enjoyer will go. And whatever is naturally there as a part of Ishvara Srishti, that notion, it's due to ignorance. That's upadhi of a jiva. And once ignorance goes, that notion that I am doer, enjoyer, etc., that goes. Then rest, everything will remain. Body will remain, thoughts will remain, and your memory will remain, your forgetfulness will remain, everything will remain, emotions will remain. You won't claim. That is how I told you, even the fear arises in a Jnani's mind, he says it is Ishvara. He doesn't resist. Pujya Swamiji's definition for Ishvara is that there is no resistance. Once that's when he gives a dhyanam for Ishvara dhyanam, that is what he says. Everything is Ishvara ultimately. And therefore, being Ishvara, there is no resistance at all. There is no resistance. Resistance shows that there is an individuality. Individual only resist. In Ishvara creation, there is no resistance at all. So whatever appears in his mind, and believe me, don't think that all beautiful thoughts all the time, whole day. No, need not. Depending upon his prarabdha and depending upon the gunas karya, any kind of a thought could occur. Even he may feel a little lazy also sometimes, may feel, because of tamo gunas, this one. May feel. So anything appears in his mind, he says it is Ishvara. Anything appears in our mind, I say it is mine. I am that. That ego is Satyam for us. Well, he says, I am not ego, I am the Sakshi, witness consciousness. And therefore, for him, ego has become Mithya. And therefore, he doesn't claim anything. Ego claims. But the very ego has become neutralized now. Even though it appears because of the mind, the I sense appears, but it is Mithya for him. And therefore, everything is Mithya for him. And therefore, everything is part of Ishvara. And Ishvara Sushti, Jiva Srushti also can be Mithya, Ishvara Srushti also can be Mithya. But being Ishvara Srushti, it will continue. If it is Jiva Srushti, it will go. So the doership, enjoyership, etc. goes because it is born of ignorance. That's the upadhi of a Jiva. So that only goes. Jiva Srushti goes. Now he doesn't claim I am a doer, I am an enjoyer, etc. But then body, mind, sense complex, which is born of, which is given through a karma phala, through my karma, but then given by Ishvara, that will continue. Ishvara has created it, and that will continue. So only that notion drops, and whatever is naturally there as a part of Ishvara Srushti will not go. So for seeing there should be a seer, for hearing there should be a hearer, and so the subject-object situation will be there. But that is not opposed to I am Brahman, because ultimately subject-object both are Brahman. So that will continue. The division of subject-object apparently continues. Could you follow what I am saying? Apparently it continues. Because the subject, the ego also is Mithya, same way object also is Mithya. He knows that I am Brahman, which appears in both, in Aham and Idam, both. Because ultimately everything is Brahman. So in form of Aham, ego also is Brahman. In form of Jagat also I am Brahman, etc. And so from the standpoint of world, well, he can say, from the standpoint of the Ishvara, he can, from the standpoint of all the names and forms, he says this is Ishvara. So I pervade all the names and forms. So he can say I am Brahman. He can even say I am Ishvara also. Yeah, he can say I am Ishvara because I pervade all the names and forms. They are non-separate from me. I am the very essence of all the names and forms. That is how, that is how Vamadeva claimed I was a Manu and I was this. Manu was a creator. How will you say that? No, but he said I was a Manu and I was this Aditya and I was this and I was that. I was a creator of this universe, etc. This is how it continues. So, once that notion goes that I am a Jiva, etc., I am a Karta, Bhokta, or I am this body, mind, sense complex, that notion goes, then ultimately everything becomes Ishvara Srushti, and I am the Adhishthanam of entire Ishvara Srushti, that is Brahman. So that is how we can call that Jnani has gained Ishvara Prapti, Ishvara Darshanam. People say, well, Jnani has Ishvara Darshanam. Yeah, he has Ishvara Darshanam. He has moksha, everything. Anyway, to sum up among all these three types of karma, the prarabdha gives the sharira, and one who has inquired before gaining jnanam. So the inquirer sharira, of course, one who is studying Tattvabodha, etc., in this world itself, and gains jnanam and gets exhausted in time through various experiences. So agami karma is generally the karma that is acquired in this life by anyone, which is carried over to sanchita. This 3-4 karma with respect to jnani, well, is presented in the next shloka. So we'll see that. That's the last part which is remaining. We'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.